Is that time already?
It
Hey,
is.
how you doing? I was just getting my caffeine fix. It never hurts. I have a lot of vices. It keeps me busy. Goodness, I'm drooling now. I'm so excited.
Mhm.
How y'all doing, folks? I'm John Zidar, and Taylor is with us today.
Hello.
Though she gave me a heads up that she might be having to take some time off next week.
Might be, yeah.
Yeah,
I will let you know as soon as possible. But there is a
but don't
chance.
worry, folks. We'll have some charter in here, and God knows how they chart. I think that's one of the exciting things of this show is every time we bring on someone to replace our normal charter, we get to see a whole different way of charting, and I love that. It's like eating spaghetti. We all cook it, we all eat it, but no two houses cook it the same. That's what's great about it. So we're going to be taking a look at some hot penny stocks today. This show is brought to you by Penny Boys. That is the Discord group that me and Taylor are in and all the other people that come on this show. We are here for investors at Penny Boys. They trade everything. And Taylor just told me last week we're into sports betting. I
Yep,
had no idea. We
that's in
just
there
keep
too.
growing and growing. We get more departments to our big Walmart organization here. So drop on in. There's a link down at the bottom there. It's a free invitation from me. It doesn't cost you anything to join. We have lots of free conversation, free alerts, and then there's paid for stuff too at your will, whatever you're interested in. So we're going to jump into these hot penny stocks. Hopefully you've brought us some hot penny stocks. I see a couple of you are bringing stocks to us on a weekly basis. The same ones. Stop that. Stop that. Come on. You can bring it every other week. You got to give at least 14 days between bringing us the same stock. Okay. Fair enough. Now, we are going to be doing what I like to refer to as QD, not DD. Due diligence is what you do when you got time. When you haven't got a lot of time, you do QD, quick diligence. And that's what we're going to be doing. So don't rely on everything I'm telling you as being gospel. I may make a mistake. And of course, there's going to be more information. So don't rely on my due diligence to be the end all to all. There's more there. Okay. All right. Now that I got that disclaimer out of here, again, me and Taylor are not authorized to tell you to buy or to tell you to sell. We're only giving you our opinions on these stocks, whatever that's worth to you.
Yep.
All right, everyone hit the like button. Go back and do it. Oh, I like that. Thank you, Jason. So let's jump on into this. Sorry, folks, I couldn't get my buttons
Whoa.
right. I know. It's deadly, isn't it? All right, I see we're up and you can see me. That is not where we're starting. We're coming first served. First up. All right. First one we're going to take a look at here is ticker NVVE, New V Holdings. Finished today at 32.8 cents, just under 5% gains on the major exchange, the NASDAQ. That means you can trade it for free, no transaction fees. You can trade it pre-market, aftermarket. You don't need special permissions. Get in there and trade. Just remember, you got to change the time period on your order. You thought they ignored you. You didn't put it in right. It's not a day trade anymore. It's day plus extension or good till cancel plus extension. Got to get extension in there. So I had come back here to show you what the company does. They put up chargers. This is well, we'll get to the description, but that's basically what they do. They got charging units for vehicles, buses. This seems to be a big one for them, the buses. They're all about that. I think I've got a page saved over here going forward. You're not going forward. There you are. So they're in a lot of countries. Now, I'm not saying they're actually doing business there yet, but they're doing something in these countries. They are making progress in Africa, Asia Pacific, Denmark, Europe, Japan, UK, and the USA. Speaking of the USA, they're in California, Delaware, and New York. So what other information do I have here about the company? Well, let's just check out the general information so we don't miss anything here. Relative volume. They've been doing about 200,000 shares a day for the last 30 days. Today, they did just about that, 200,000 shares. Share structure for the company. Only thing we know is the outstanding share count is 32 million. Your float's never higher than the outstanding share count and could be considerably less, 32 million. Financials for Nuve. She's making money. Had a bigger year, 2022, jumping by over $1 million to 5.3 million, making profits. Though they made more money here. Oh, does that bring up that box? Let me see if that does. No, it doesn't. Okay. In either case, they made more money but made less profits. year over year. Maybe inflation came into play there. Quarterly, they're making stronger revenues, but they're making less profit. I'm not quite sure what that's about. Looking at the balance sheet, they got lots of money in the bank, folks. $11.5 million, $33 million in assets, and $11 million in liabilities. That puts them ahead of the game by $20 million. What else we got here? The news. Well, let's check out the disclosures. I don't think there were any. I think that's why I passed them up. Hopefully, nope. All right, let's check these out. All right, I do remember this. I did poke my head into these. I think the first two. All right, this is a purchase, a acquisition. Whenever you see a number here, this is a Form 4. Form 4s are filed whenever the insiders, the management, buy shares of this company's stock. And they can get shares in a lot of different ways. We're only looking if they buy them. So you got to look for them to be acquired, an A or a P. And you need to see a price over here. If there's no price there, they didn't buy them. They got them for another reason. And you can get the reason right down here normally. Some sort of reason will be there. So we have a purchase here of 28,000 shares at 48 cents. I think we have another one there. Yes, this one comes from the president, the COO, 7,600 shares at 48 cents. And we got another one here. These all came out September 5th, 31,000 shares. This one is by the chief executive officer. The head honchos are all dumping money into the company right now. That's a good telltale sign. They know something that we don't, most likely. And let's see, I don't want to go through them all. We've got a financial here. You really want to know what's going on with the company. Best place to get information, folks. All right, I just opened up a bunch of filings there, but we had one piece of news I wanted to jump into here that breaks down some of their financials. They reduced their cash operating costs in the second quarter by about $1 million. They have a backlog. This is business waiting to be done. They're just trying to get to it as fast as they can of $6.1 million. That's jumped from $4.2 million. That's good. They've got more business to do, but they're falling behind now. They're getting more and more business. And they tell us up here they introduced Astria AI forecasting into the Nordic energy market to optimize revenue generation from ancillary market services. So they've got things going on. They're making money. They had a pretty decent day. They've gone up, but I haven't looked at the chart, so I really don't know what it looks like. So we will turn this over to Taylor now,
Okay.
NVVE.
Can you hear me? Okay.
I can hear you.
Here we go. So we have looked at this before because I had marked this. We said, it has these days where it will spike up near this 200. So here's what's happened though. So I had this box already highlighted. This was kind of like the loading zone where it kind of will consolidate,
Yep.
or it will, this would be a good time to pick up shares when it hits this level. So what has happened the last several days, it was in this zone and broke through. And it did try to come back up. And as you can see, this acted as resistance. So this box was pretty accurate. This was at about 45 cents. So it broke that, could not get back into this box. So it has been on a complete downtrend.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And all the way down to, looks like the floor was about 25 cents, give or take a few hundredths of a cent. So about 25 cents. So today it did come back up, but we're nowhere near this area. So um, it would be irresponsible to just jump in. But I mean, I don't know. So
Well, looking
that's
at it for a daily, if
this is
you're
the
looking
daily
at the
chart.
long play, she's definitely on a downtrend. But if you got in the other day, is there a chance you can get out this week? Because she bounces, and all you
Yeah,
need is a bounce to exit, folks. You don't always need to gain a profit. If you made a mistake and you got trapped, take that first opportunity to get out. You can see what's going on. She
yeah,
bounces and goes right back to falling.
yeah.
That's a nice
So
bounce there. That's one of the biggest
This
bounces she's
this is a
had.
huge bounce. Yeah, we went all the way down to about 25 cents, like I said. This is the 15-minute chart. It's just right at 25 cents. Came right back up. So this was the 15-minute chart. So this was on Wednesday that happened. There was a lot of volume today. So that came in, and this is what's happened today. So we're kind of like, it looks like it's coming back up if you look at a smaller time frame. but I don't really trust this until we get back into that zone, like up
There's a
here.
possibility there that
But
it could.
there's a pause. Yeah,
It's wrestling the 50 right now. If it can get above the
right.
50, you can get some more push. But is she going to start climbing, changing trend? I don't know about that.
I mean, this right here, this wick down, this is incredible. I bet a bunch of people picked something up here. I mean, then that's still showing on the 15 minutes. So that's what it looks like here, and that's about all I got to say.
Sounds fair to
Move
me.
on on.
I'm ready for you. I'm going to let you flip me.
There you go.
There he is.
You're on.
I am on. All right. We are now looking at IFXY. Can't remember who found that. I'm sure Taylor can bring that comment up for
MBS
you.
was the comment. MBS was the person that commented.
So
I saw on the screen.
IFXY, woo, we got a 000 here, but at least it's the upper 000s. I'll look at upper 000s. The lower 000s, those are months, years away from play as far as I'm concerned. We're at 0008 here. I don't know if she had any movement today, but she broke even. No highs, no lows. She's on the pink. She's current. She's got a verified profile and a transfer agent. Don't underestimate the value of these two green ticks, folks. We're talking about a pink. There is no validated information that comes with pinks. The disclosures aren't even looked at by a CPA. This verified profile is validated. That verified transfer agent is validated. This is done behind the scenes by an unbiased third party. This is the only validated information you get with the pink. If you don't see that there, you're just running blindfolded and you're going to probably smack you into a tree or something. So look for those green ticks, will you? They tell us here she is a shell risk. That means she is in business, but she's not making any money, which is the case. Now, what they do, I had a hard time finding information about what this company does. There's no news. There's nothing to jump into. You didn't see any description there. So I had to go into a financial filing, go all the way down here. And I don't know what kind of business it is. I see what they want to do, but what are they doing? They tell us here, according to the latest U.S. Census data, the Latin American population, especially from Central America, is rapidly in the United States, coming to the United States. In recent years, there has been a significant increase in the number of Central American immigrants settling, about 5 million to date. Our strategy is to develop and implement effective solutions that cater to the specific needs of this demographic sector. We strive to address the various challenges faced by these immigrants, such as nostalgic products and distribution of familiar foods from their home countries, easy to access legal services, insurance solutions, non-traditional remittance management, peer-to-peer financing, and other technologically driven solutions that create a sense of community. All right, that's what they want to do. I'm not quite sure what they're doing because it's the same description down here. What are your products? What are your services? Well, there's nothing really specific here. Now, what I do notice is that they do tell us up here that they are not a shell company, so they are in business. But what are they selling? What are they actually doing? I don't know. All right, let's get some information over here for the company. Am I reading that right? I am. There was a serious jump in relative volume today. Wow. Going from 5.5 million to 42 million. And I'm not able to find a catalyst. Something's out there. Oh, I do have one thing I can share with you, which I don't see as a catalyst. I seen someone else tweet about this, and they were saying change of management is coming, change of operations. It's like, well, I don't see that. You're kind of stretching it maybe. So we've got a huge increase in volume. No doubt about that. Share structure. Oh my God. Way too many shares, folks. We got 5.5 billion outstanding. The good news here is the lion's share is owned by the management. They got 3.4 billion of those shares. But still, we get 2 billion shares in the float. No, that doesn't even come close to a low float. Financials for the company. We got zero money coming in on the annual, zero money coming in because they are a shell risk. That's the case. Looking at their balance sheet, they got $15,000 in the bank. Not 15. We got to put 3 zeros behind it. Thank God. That's their total assets. 15,000. That's it. And 71,000 in liabilities. So they're down $56,000. Folks, That's the definition of a startup company right there. They got nothing. They got no products. They got no services. They say they do, but where? They've got no money. They got no revenues. This is a startup company. They need a catalyst. They need to be doing something. Disclosures. What do we got over here? We got nothing since 2018. So the only thing I found, and it was a heads up because somebody tweeted about it, said that the company itself made this tweet. So I ran over here, and this is what they say. Their last tweet was November 16th,
Oh, I was
2022.
just about to ask you about November of 2022. So now I know. All right, good to know.
Okay, so if something happened, there's the
I will show.
reason
There we
right
go.
there. It
Okay,
was a
that's
tough
good.
announcement to make on Monday. So whatever the hell it was,
Yep.
release point next week. Reminder, our first time. A reminder: no RS will happen.
Okay.
What did it go up because there was
Oh,
no
you'll see.
RS?
You'll see.
All right, yeah. We don't want to. What do they call that when you give away the best part of the story? All right. Anyways, Inforex says
Spoiler.
we are currently preparing our annual report to file in the next 2 weeks.
Okay.
Once the report is filed, we will provide a shareholder update soon afterward outlining our business model going forward. So we're making a presumption things are
So that's
changing,
okay.
right? And a general timeline of when to expect certain goals to be met. Talk about vague. Talk about leaving room for speculation. And I'm not kidding here, folks. I've been trading the penny stocks in the OTC long enough to see that when vague information comes out, the stock does stupid, silly stuff because people expect the absolute best. The mother news is coming here. And then when they bring out the news, it falls. So right now, that's as vague as possible. I'd be watching this stock because this is the perfect situation for speculators to push the stock to insanity. I don't see any reason, but that's what's going on. Let's jump on into the chart for IFXY. I want to see what happened November
Uh,
16th.
there's the November. November.
Oh.
So we went from 0027 down to 0005. Okay.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so 0027 to 0005 is what happened. That's
Double
why I
zero
wanted
two
to know.
seven to 0005. That's a
Yes.
1,500% drop.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's
And they
insane.
told
So
you no RS. Boy, you talk about reassurance, and that's the thanks you get. You'd be
so
better
ever
off not saying anything.
ever since then, aside from a few days over here, this is the daily chart, by the way. Aside from a few days at 001, it's just been barcoding between 0005 is the low and like a 0009. So this is it. This is your daily chart with Heikenashi's. That's what it's doing. Now I don't know, John. Can you tell us how many decimal places can you place an order on the OTC? Because I saw when
But
you brought that up, it said 0075. So this is
uh,
showing 0007.
the absolute lowest you can buy on the open market is 0001.
Okay, so you can't do the 5, it would probably round it up to 8, 0008
If
to
you try,
buy.
what is it, 405?
Yours had when you brought up your, information, it said the stock price was 0075. So
Oh, yeah.
that's
The
5 decimal
half point
places.
there, that's
Yeah,
what brokers and marketers, those are their bids. We
okay,
cannot bid that half
gotcha.
whatever.
Okay,
We can't do that. You're right.
okay, yeah, that's what I was asking, just
Yes,
because
it
this is
rounds it up.
gotcha. So this is showing 0007. So it's, been fluctuating between that 0007 and 0008. So that's why yours was showing that triple
That's
zero
rare.
seven five. Yeah.
That's rare.
So
We normally don't see those middle lines between the triple
mhm.
digits.
Right. That's what yours was showing. That's why I was
It's
asking. So
really fighting to break. It doesn't want to get over that. That's the only reason you're getting a half. It refuses to
mhm.
go over top of that SMA.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's what it's showing right here. So this is 0007. This is 0008. It did hit that today. I mean, obviously there was some shares sold and bought here, but it's just this is really tight. But then again, if you got in at 0006 to 0008, that's what 30%. That's a 30% gain or so.
Yeah,
30.
if you can get the bid
If
to
you
go
can
up to
get it
that eight.
right, right. If you can get in and get your bid,
Right.
taken. Exactly. So that's all that I have to show. It's just barcoding between 0005 and 0009 right now. for
Okie
the last
dokie.
several months since February. That's
That's a
it.
long time to be barcoding.
Yeah. So let me remove me. Put you on there. There you go.
All right, I'm getting set up here. Can you see me? Yes, you
Yep.
can. All right, we are now looking at ORN Group. Forgive me if I can't remember who brought these up. I was more
Jason
inclined to get
Davis
the
said he was
information.
looking forward to it. So his
Jason,
comments
that's
on.
right. Jason and I have talked about this the other day. He brought this to my attention. ORN Group Holdings. Ooh, not a penny stock anymore. That's okay. It's close enough to the neighborhood. We're not going to shun it. $5.26. Penny stock stop at $5, folks. She had a gain of 2.14% today. She's on the New York Stock Exchange. So, what does this company do? They're in a great business, folks. They are in infrastructure construction. We're talking about bridges, dams, things like that, things that build up all of the outside of our community. And this is old. I don't think we've done anything since World War II. World War II, we built everything up and it's all breaking down now. Would I surprise you to tell you that at least seven bridges a day in the United States collapse? You didn't know that, did you? Not unless it collapses in your neighborhood do they put it on the news, because that would cause a panic. So this company's getting a lot of business right now, and a lot of it has to do with dams and water and building up things. The company is headquartered in Houston, Texas, with regional offices throughout operating areas. And they work both with the concrete segment on land and they work with the marine segment. So let's start off with the relative volume again. She lost over 50% of her volume today, and she's not doing very much on a major exchange. 236,000 shares, about a 250,000 a day. Today, she roughly did 100,000 shares. Share structure for ORN, all we know is the outstanding share count is 32 million. Float won't be any higher than that. That's good. That's not a bad float. And it could be a lot less, which would be even better. Looking at the financials for ORN, well, they're making some good money. They did dip back in 2021. Maybe it was a COVID thing. We don't know. But they're right back up to it, making looks like the highest in the last 4 years, $748 million. And they got to keep 50 million of that. Quarterly, they're doing real good revenues, 182 million every 3 months, and they're keeping 13.5 million of it. Balance sheet for this company, 10 million in the bank, 369 million in assets, only 242 in liabilities, so that puts them up ahead of the game, $119 million. And let's see if we have any disclosures over here. Probably do. Yeah, we do. Did I have one saved over here? No. All right, let's see what we got in these 8Ks real quick. Material definitive agreement entered into a design build contract with undisclosed customer for a value at $120 million. This is going to be including both their concrete and marine segment. Look at that. So there's business right there. And I don't think I saw that in the news, folks. If you don't have a habit of reading filings, get into the habit. They will normally put out a piece of news for a filing, but they don't have to. And there's more information in filings than there is in news. I promise you that. Here's another one, virtual investor shareholder meeting. Form 4s, are they good or bad? They are selling here 16,000 shares, EVP and CFO. I wonder what EVP is. That's nothing's jumping to mind for that one. This was all on the 7th of September. We had 2 sales here in the same day, 30,000 shares gone. Oh, I do remember that. I just closed it. That the next one is actually a buy. I remember coming over here. There you go, a purchase. 20,000 shares. What the heck? So they bought these shares on the 29th of August, 20,000 shares. And then we just saw that last one. They sold 30,000 shares, and I'm almost sure that was after August. Yes. So they bought 20,000 shares at the end of the month of August and then turned around and sold 30 shares. Now they sold them for $474. And what were they going for when she bought them? How do I know it's a she? Well, they got 25 cents profit. So they sold the 20,000 they bought plus 10,000 more and took a quick profit. just scraped off the top. Nothing big there. And let me see the news. Orion Group jumps to 17-month high after B. Riley upgrade to buy. That was in July. They are doing investor conferences. These are good. You want them going to conferences, getting other people excited. Look, a couple days after the date of the conference, if they did their job right, you'll see people after payday buying shares of stock. So maybe the 24th, the 25th, we may have seen a bump on the chart. I don't know. I have not looked. Here's another conference they're going to, small cap conference. So that's the gips of this. It looks like it is leaving the penny stock area, so we may not look at this one again. So let's take a look at this chart. It may be the last time we do it on this show.
Okay, so I'm just looking at the daily chart here. We had this consolidation area between about 235 and 272 for a long time, like all spring long, maybe into March until the end of June. This is where their earnings report was. It was on the 26th of July. And so they had a really, really good outstanding earnings report. So that is what caused it to move. And that's probably what drew the attention of the analysts that upgraded the ranking to buy. So that happened a couple days later. You could see that was on, I looked when you were talking about that. That was on the 28th, and you could see it gapped up on the 28th and ran all day. So that's fantastic. It did come back down and fill that gap, and it's just been ripping ever since.
Wow.
Except today we had a little bit less volume, but it's still, it's hitting its all-time, well, not all-time highs, but it's what 14-month or 16-month high at
17.
17-month high. Okay,
Yep.
so 544. So I mean, right now it's just been ripping. You can go down to the
I'll
4
bet
hour
that bounce. I'll bet you, right there, that we
right
would
here.
find an SMA that it was bouncing off of. It
Right
wasn't
here.
just bouncing in the air. On one of the other charts, there was something.
Oops.
Yeah, look at that.
Right here on the the 50 on the 4-hour chart. So whoops. So that bounced right off of that and continued to run kind of down right now after hours, or I don't know if it trades after hours, but anyway. So it's still going up, if you can see that. I mean, it did bounce right off of that, like you said. Probably found something.
Let's check out that 5-minute.
So let's look at the 5-minute.
Yeah, because she's look. Oh, you're not using your Heikenashis
I know.
now,
Let me turn them on. Let me turn them on.
I can tell it looked naked.
Wait, why is it? Oh, they moved. Sorry about that.
Oh, look at that grunt. That's beautiful.
That was today. So it started out.
Wow.
This is pre-market, so this is market open. We had a dip and just ran all day until the middle of the day. So all the way up to 543. So its high was 544. So I mean, yeah, you get in around here like 511 to 544, 543. It's on the major exchange. You don't have to. But now we're under VWAP and everything else on the 5-minute. So I don't know if it's going to come back down or not. Kind
It
of
looks like it's
bled
going to
off.
bounce to me.
Could, yeah. I mean, who knows?
It's showing that it is got a light price. It is climbing regularly. So, and it's on the 50. It's not showing it. Now, are you on the 5-minute?
This is the 5-minute. Yep.
Yeah. Well, she's leveling off there. You can see she's found a bottom. 3 of those bars now at the end of all pretty much. Yeah. So she could be coming around. She does come underneath these SMAs like a rubber ball in water. Right up underneath and back onto the top.
Yeah, this is a good support level. I like that.
And I do like the company because infrastructure, it was on the front burner for America. And then came COVID and everything that followed that. And this infrastructure stuff has gotten to the back burner. Let me tell you what, enough bridges start collapsing, it's going to get put back on the front burner. This can't be overlooked for too long.
Yeah, keep your eye on this one. I'll mark it for later too. Okay.
I'm ready for you.
You're on.
Okay. I had actually thought this was AITX, had it all set up, and it's like, okay, we look at this every now and then, but not last week. It wasn't AITX. No, it wasn't. It was AVTX. We did look at this one last week. I remember this came with another biotech, biopharmacy that we looked at last week. Came in a pair from the same person. I don't know if this is the same person this week.
It's the underdog. Brought it up.
I remembered Underdog. All right, we are looking at a biotech, Avalo Therapeutics. She's on the NASDAQ. She finished today at 14.14. That is 14 cents. and she dropped almost 17% today. So, telling us what the company does, Avalo Therapeutics is a clinical stage biotechnology company focused on the treatment of immune dysregulation by developing therapies that target the light signaling network. Now, we discussed this last week. Light is an anagram, and this is the entire length. All of that is that anagram, and I am not reading that. They tell us that the accumulating evidence points to the dysregulation of the light signaling network as a disease driving mechanism in an autoimmune inflammatory reactions in barrier organs. Therefore, we believe reducing light levels can moderate the immune dysregulation in many acute chronic inflammatory disorders. So I don't understand what this stuff is, never do. But they focused in on something I've never heard anyone else talk about, and they say the dysregulation of the light network is what's causing people to get sick. So if you can fix that, you can cure all those other sicknesses. That's the sort of thing you want biotech to be working with. They give us a little information up here we might as well grab before we leave. Avalo Therapeutics recently announced the elimination of $35 million in debt, paving the way for future growth and innovation. That's a lot of money in debt to be getting rid of. Let's see what we've got now. Relative volume. She dropped from 92 million shares down to 78 million shares today. Share structure for AVTX isn't bad. Outstanding share count is at 20.2 million. Our float's going to be less than that, maybe a lot less. Financials for the company. Are they strictly R&D? No, they're not. They're making money. Research and development, they don't have a product to sell. They need money all the time to buy supplies, to pay their people. So they get it from their investors, either the little guys or the big guys. If they have products, they don't have to keep putting shares on the market. They're making money here, selling something. They did 18. I'm going to presume they sold something here. Now, maybe I know they sold something. I mean a piece of property, an asset, a facility. They were doing 6 million, 5 million. And then all of a sudden they jumped to 18 million. A lot of times there will be an asset sale, a facility, and they'll get $8 million for it. And they just throw it into revenues. And you go, whoa, they had a big year that year. Well, it was the same. They just had a big sale. Let's look at the quarterly. Right there in one quarter. There's no way that they go from 1 million to 14 million in 3 months and then fall back to under a million. So something would tell us there. And they have been falling. They're down to 643 right now, and they are losing money right now down here. Balance sheet real quick. They've got money in the bank. They got $6.3 million, 24 million in assets, 31 million in liabilities. Now, how do they work that math out? I don't know. 24 in assets, 31 in liabilities. To me, that comes out to a 7. Down here, they said minus 21 million. Lots of numbers that come into play here, folks. So let's not get confused.
Was there any news from like the end of June of this year?
The end of June. Well, let's check the 8Ks because they always end of June. Oh boy, we've got a few things at the end of the June. We got an 8K, which is your material change, which could be bad news or good news. Avalo announces top line data from phase 2 trial. That sounds good to me.
It was bad.
Got something else here. It was bad. Okay. Whoa. Yeah, you had a 10% owner, Cassius Capital, sell 1.5 million of their shares, and they zeroed out, sold everything they had. You can see over here, folks. This tells you how many shares that they have after the sale. 0. So he bailed. So I'm sure.
Okay.
I'm sure that was a bad sign. And at the same time, you had someone coming into the company. Who is this? Armatis Capital. They bought 500,000 shares and got 4% of the company. But I guess that wasn't enough. 500,000 compared to a sale of 1.5 million and somebody jumping ship. Not real exciting. So let's see. That was pretty much all we had for that time period.
Okay.
Now, we got a lot of 8Ks here, folks. And if I remember correctly, material amended aggregate amount. All right, they've got a note here for 14 million. I don't know the details of the note. They're trying to get more money up, obviously. Another agreement, a venture loan. This is another note So they're working desperately to take care of this loss that they got going. Uh-oh. They've been notified by the NASDAQ that they are not meeting the minimum $35 million market cap. What is their market cap right now? You come over here to the shares, and they got it up here at the top, right there. 3.4 million. We talked about this last week. Remember, folks, I said to get to 35 million, they've got to get to $1.50 roughly, because they've only got 20 million shares. If it hits $1, that's how you get your market cap. Multiply the shares outstanding times the price. $1 a share would only get you 20 million market cap. So they've got to get this up to $1.50. We said that last week, and it doesn't look like they're getting there fast. Now, I guess the one thing we need to take note of is the deadline, February 5th, 2024. So they've got some time, but are things getting better? I don't know. The chart's going to tell us that. Was there anything else? Let's just take a look at that news. Dun, 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 dun. There it is. Comprehensive analysis. We already looked at that. $35 million debt owed to Horizon, paid. That's out of there. We're good on the information here, folks. We see them getting a lot of notes, promissory notes. This normally means they're borrowing money and they got to pay for that money, just like you would with a bank, and it's investors. Hopefully at some point they actually do a debt conversion, take one of those notes and give them shares instead of money. So I guess the biggest thing was what Taylor had pointed out. That day back in June when they had that investor sell everything, you have to ask yourself, why? Let's take a look at the chart now for AVTX.
Yeah, this is going to look kind of scary at first. So there's the daily chart. So this is why I was asking about June. This was Monday, June 26th. The previous Friday, the 23rd, was trading at a very high of 472 and then plummeted to a low the very next Monday at 51 cents. So that's a giant drop, and there was no stock split or anything like that. I turned off all the indicators
right
so
there,
you could
just the
see
initial
that.
drop was
Yes,
800%.
yeah, so you could see that, and that was just insanity. But I will show you what's been going on lately. If I can
Wow.
get back. Yeah, so I moved this to the 1 hour chart. So this is what's been going on lately. Now we did look at this last week, and I think I was saying like the 200 was flattening out and things like that. But this is the 1 hour, so you can kind of see we're kind of in this like wedge pattern. So I'd like to see this come up and test this before I would get back in. But so right now it's trading at about after hours it went down to 13.17, so 0.1317. That's what's trading at right now. The low here is about 8 cents. Okay, so we're in the middle of this like wedge pattern. So I'm kind of seeing maybe it can drop down here, maybe it'll come down to this level, or we have a chance to break out. So I don't know, but that initial drop just absolutely, they're gonna have to do something, like you said. They have a deadline coming up, so that's what it's looking like on the 1 hour.
So
I don't
we
know if you
looked
want.
at this a week ago, didn't we?
We did.
And
So
she,
I
she
didn't have
actually
the.
she have a bounce since last week and came back down.
It did. It did. It bounced up and tested this
Yep,
little. It's now
yep.
it's in this pattern and has come back down. Or we're back down here at like a 12 cents, 13 cents level. Okay, so this is the 5 minute. So this is what it did today. It just basically
Yeah,
bounced
it's
up
not
in the
looking
morning,
good, is it?
slowed, and then sold off. So
Every
yeah,
single SMA is coming down now like a waterfall.
yeah,
That
this is
doesn't
the
look good
five
at
minute.
all.
And it just keeps selling off after hours. I mean, it's just completely selling
Oh,
off. Look at this.
what a
Yeah, so
shame.
this is the 5 minute. This is what's going on right now. So it just selling off. So there you go.
You.
So that's all I got to say about this one,
And
AVTX.
that's all I got to say about that.
Yep.
All right, let's see. Let me close this window for you and get to the next one. Himalaya, HMLA. This is Velmore's. Thank you, Velmore. I always look forward to hers. She obviously does a lot of due diligence because she's always got a different ticker. Okay. Hint, hint. Himalaya finished today at an excellent price. Closest to my favorite price, 001. Go to 002. You've made 100%
Himalaya.
gains, and it's only that much of a move on the chart,
Oh,
folks. It is outstanding. She took a jump today of 57.14%. She's on the pink tier. She's current. She's got a transfer agent verified, but we don't see a verified profile. Now, that's not a deal breaker, but know when you're going in, there's some validated information missing here. Why wasn't it validated? So, Himalaya, what are they about? They tell us, oh, isn't that cute, that they are a modest oil and gas producing company. The directors of the company are in the process of negotiating a new agreement to acquire Telesecurity Sciences. Upon closing of the TSS acquisition, the company intends to shift its focus for oil and gas to advanced imaging solutions for medical and security imaging devices and systems. Well, there you go. That's a huge change coming. I wonder how much information will back this up. All right, let's take a look at that relative information first, like the relative share count. Nice. We've got over 300% increase today, jumping from 592 million shares. Nope, sorry, 592,000 to 1.8 million shares. Share structure for the company. Our outstanding share count, 196 million, 18 million. The insiders own, that's what they tell us. And that leaves us with 177 million for the float. Financials for the company. We don't have anything here on the annual, and we got nothing on the quarterly. Let's hope they got nothing in the bank. Uh-oh. They got 206,000 in assets. Long-term investments is primarily where it's at. Total current liabilities is $1 million. So they've got about $250,000 in assets, but they don't have a penny in the bank. How are they paying themselves? Nobody works for free unless they're paying themselves in shares of stock right now. Disclosures. See if we got anything over here. Did I bring any of these up?
How far does your news go back? Do we have any news from about April 8th of 2022?
April of 2022.
Yeah.
I
No,
bet
back so far.
Sometimes they'll go back. No, we only got one piece of news.
All right.
That's it. However,
that's the only thing I can see.
The disclosures will go back as far as we need. What was that, April?
April 8th of 2022. Give or take.
There. All right, 2022, April. No, it jumps from November to May. There is nothing here.
In 2022. You're in 2023. It didn't go back that far.
No, see where here.
Okay. I see it now. Never mind.
See, there's nothing. What?
Got it.
Hold on here.
Right?
No, you're right. I was looking for the period. Wow, they got a lot here. But you see how far you can go back. This is endless. So there's no reason not to be able to find things. It's just how much of this you really want to read.
I would like to know what happened, though.
Is the reverse split. All right.
April 8th. Go back one more.
Right there.
April, that's 26th.
Oh, 8th. My goodness.
Okay, what's that? Is that something?
Yeah, let's see what they told us. Other events. Himalaya's affiliate group, FOMO Corporation, ticker FOMC. I'm familiar with them, which owns 28% of our share structure, closed on a $15,000 common stock investment in Gen Bio. The total investment is $65,000. That's it. They made an investment. Their subsidiary, FOMO, did an investment in Gen Bio of $65,000. Ta-da! Not a whole lot of news there. I don't know.
Okay.
All right.
I guess you'll see it.
Lots here. All right. We've got one here, an 8K. I don't know if I brought this one up or not. Right. This is information that you can get. It's like they call it a deck, a brochure. But I think there was actually a news press underneath here. Yeah. Himalaya Technologies completes FINRA corporate actions review.
When was that?
This just came out yesterday.
Okay.
Corporate actions review to add mobile apps to social networks to go viral. Now, there is a piece of news for this, and I was reading it, and I don't understand everything they're doing, but there's this one social app out there called Canao or Canapo, and there it is, Canab Club. And what they're doing, this is a very popular club, so they're duplicating the app. They're duplicating the code and creating another one for somewhere else. It's kind of like going iOS, Android to Apple. It's the same program, but you got to change the code so it works on different platforms. That's what they're doing here. They are expanding this platform to a whole nother platform so they can expound all their users. And that's about all I've been able to find on that. Not a whole lot more. Let's see if I had any more information here after opening up all those windows. Nope, that is about it. So let's take a look at that chart of HMLA Himalaya.
Okay, so this is why I was asking. So this is the daily. So we're going to go all the way back to April of 2022. We lost a 0, and it was 0.0175. It went all the way up to that day. So there was something, because there was a ton of volume that came in, and it went all the way.
Where did it start from?
So that was, started.
Roughly.
0.006.
And it went up to like a penny two?
Yeah,
penny
0.0175.
17.
Yeah.
Wow. 0.02. Gee whiz. 5, 6, 7, 8. That's like 800% gains.
Yeah. And then it's just kind of been, if you just look at the daily chart, you can just see it's
dribbling
just kind of
downhill.
Very small. Yeah. Well, it did hit a low of 0002 on May 25th of this year, and now it's at 001. So it lost 0, now it gained that back, but we're still nowhere near where it jumped up. So this day, I didn't notice you say anything about June 12th. There was a big spike in volume, came all the way up to 002. Now we're at 001. So I mean, this is like, let's look at the 4-hour. So there's been, it moves on some kind of news, because there's like a spike in volume, and then I guess something happened just the other day, you said. So this kind of came up.
Yeah, the news came out yesterday.
0006 to 001, almost 00. So that's nearly 100% move from there to there. That one. Or okay. So I mean, right now it's just kind of in this
What's
area.
What's that look like on the 5 minute?
5 minute. Yep, that's good. Give it a second. There we go. So here's the 5 minute. This was the other day. So from that news, so we're going anywhere between, let's see, this is 002. Mm-hmm.
There's a possibility of a breakout there. You got your 50 turning up. She is fighting that 200.
Mm-hmm.
You got your 20 coming up. There's a possibility. She's worth a watch. I'll say that much.
Yeah. Let's see if it comes down and bounces off of this.
I'm not talking about a trend change. I'm just talking about a bounce.
Yeah, bounce. Yeah, they could bounce. I mean, we could see 0013 easily, but I'd like to see it up here again, 002. But that's like 100%. Yeah. So that's about it for that one. I think we got another one, so move on.
All right. I think we didn't get to this one last week, and I mentioned it. Taylor and I were talking about it. It's like, this sounds familiar. I joined a group, and they talk about this, and I see it all day long. And I can see that things have been happening, but I don't think we actually had a chance to talk about it last week. This is Northwest Biotherapeutics, NWBO, up there at 87 cents, finished today just under 5% gains on the middle tier of the OTC. We call this the better tier because you have to audit your financials to be here. Unlike the pinks, they don't have to get CPAs. And you've got to be at least 1 penny to be on the QB. You go under a penny, you can get kicked off and thrown down to the pink. We got a verified profile and a transfer agent, validated information, and they got independent directors. List independent directors here, it means they have plans on uplisting. So you may want to consider that. So let's, before we jump into the news, let's get the relative information. Relative volume today, she's normally doing 3 million shares. Today she did about 10% more, going to 3.3 million shares. Share structure for NWBO, it's a lot. I don't know what the float is, but the outstanding share count's up there at 1.1 billion. And our float could be right up underneath that. Or it could be on the floor, but which do you think is going to be? They make any money? They are making money, but I'm not quite sure how they're doing it. Is it consultations? Is it a license? Because they're not paying anything for the revenues. So they're not having to buy any materials, packaging, shipping, anything like that. They did $1.6 million at the end of 2022 and got to keep 100% of it. And they're making money each quarter. It jumps around. I'm not quite sure why it jumps around. If it was a license, you'd think it'd be a little steadier than that. So they did about $200,000 at the end of last quarter. Their balance sheet, they've got 1.4 million in the bank, better than zero, 28 million assets, and 60 million in liabilities. Woo. All right, let's see what we got here in news. This news came out August 29th. Northwest Biotherapeutics announces completion of the prerequisites and the plans for the submission of marketing authorization application. Now, I'm wondering if this is the PDFUA. I'm not seeing that word in here, but the marketing application. I know that they're getting ready to get this drug out there. They've been doing a lot of, I've seen a lot of information about it, and I don't have the information here at, a snap of a finger, folks. So you may want to jump into something here. Let's see what other news we got. Northwest Biotherapeutics and Advent Bioservices announced receipt of license for commercial manufacturing at Swanston, UK facility. So they're at the point of actually making the drug now. Now, there's a lot of companies, this PDFUA thing, this is a marketing license. After you go through phase 1 and prove you're safe, phase 2 and prove you work, and phase 3 and prove you're better than everybody else, you're allowed to have your drug sold on the market. But now they've got this PDFUA where you got to pay the FDA money to get a license to sell your drug. Yeah, you've been approved, but you still can't sell it. And this is an extra way the FDA is making money for all their hard labors. And a lot of the companies who are paying the fee are waiting for that license. And then after all the trials are done, the FDA says, but we need a little more information before we give you your license. And that's what happened to CTXR. That's what happened to another drug here that just had a PDFUA come up. No, you can't sell it yet. You're going to have to wait. And it takes 5-6 more months for another PDFUA to go through. So I'm not sure what's going on here. We didn't actually see that, but we see that they are applying for it. They'll get a date, and the date will go on the FDA's calendar, and then you wait for that date and cross your fingers they get approval. Recently here, I haven't seen anybody getting approval for the PDFUAs. And that's about it here recently, folks. That's all the news going on. So let's take a look at NWBO. Remember, folks, I don't do thorough DD, as you can see. And when it comes to these pharmaceutical companies, there's a lot of serious information that you're going to have to do the due diligence on.
So I went all the way back. This has been around for a long time, since 2012. So this company's been around a while. It's been, I guess, on and off the major exchange. So this was notable, but it was, over a year ago. I must have been related to this, but I don't think they released anything. So it had been, running up all the way to over $2, and then completely plummeted down to about 38 cents. That was last May. All right. So then recently it hit almost right at where that was, about that 38-cent mark. Okay. And then just started running after that. So I don't know what happened. There was news, but we do have a little bit of support at around 78 cents, give or take. And, it did reach a high of a little bit over $1. This was on Monday. So it's just been kind of hanging out there. So let's drop it down to like the 1 hour. Okay, so this was an outlier. This must have been, yeah, this was a pre-market outlier. I don't know what was going on there. Let me turn on Hakanashi. Okay, there we go. So this is the 1 hour. Looks like it has been just kind of, going running. Kind of came back down and hit this support level. So I mean, we definitely have a chance to come back up here. It has had more volume than it did when it was just kind of like trailing off. So I don't know. What do you think? What do you think about this one?
Well, she's showing signs of, doing that hook. She's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
She's trying to break that. I can't tell what your green SMA there is.
This is 20? The 21.
The 21, okay. And that's a very dominant SMA, the 20. She's looking like she wants to break out. I see your oscillators down at the bottom are also showing some strength.
Mm-hmm. This one is, yeah.
Yeah,
So
well, even the one on the bottom there has got a crossover, the very bottom one.
yeah, this one.
So,
I use
so
this one
I
sometimes.
think again, she's worth the watch. She's had a whole week of climbing. You got to
Hmm.
expect a dip at some point in this market. People are
Yeah.
going to take their profits. Actually, it's been more than a week. Look at that. So I think it's worth the watch. She gets back up over that 50. You could see another few days
Another
of
run up.
running.
Yeah, to over $1. That's where it hit on Wednesday. So
Definitely,
Wednesday.
the chart
Yeah.
doesn't look bad. I mean,
Mm-mm.
she's been running. She's taken a dip. Dips are normal. It was a big dip, no doubt about that. But she
Mhm.
looks like she's ready to come back.
Yep. So that's that one. I think. Do we have one more or?
Yeah, well, we've got 4 minutes, and I found one other ticker that I can show. It was up there, so I'm going to look at this one.
Okay.
NAMD, Nate's Food. I
NHMD.
think I just covered this one in one of my videos not too long ago. Nate's Food is going through a change. Right now, she's at 0007. She had 16.5% gains today on the pink tier. Current as a transfer agent verified, but we don't have that verified profile right now. So the news, first off, they canceled 1 billion shares. That's pretty cool. But how many shares did they have? It seems to me they had a lot. All right. They've got 6 billion. And I was reading this. I remember doing the video now. They did remove 1 billion shares, but I can't tell without doing some more research where it came off of. Did it come off the authorized? Did it come off the outstanding? If it came off the outstanding, they normally had to pay for them. You got to buy them off the market. I didn't see a buyback program. So I got to presume they came off of the authorized shares, which really doesn't affect us. Authorized shares got nothing to do with the price of the stock. Absolutely nothing. That's money in the bank. Well, if they sell them, they get paid, or they can use them to do deals with other companies or turn debt into a debt conversion. So I don't know where they came from. I'm glad to see that they went away. Before we forget, let's take a look at that relative information. Well, there's more attention being
Uh-huh.
paid to it right now. Jumped from 88 million to 217 million on the OTC, the pink. And today, I'm going to refresh this page. Let's see what we did today. 3.6 billion shares on the entire OTC market, 12,087 companies. 2 years ago, the average was 60 billion shares a day, if that gives you any idea where we're at. And we're down to $1.8 billion for the entire market. All 12,000 companies had to divide up $1 billion. So this company got 217 million of that 3 billion. A lot of companies didn't get anything today. Checking out the financials for Nate's Food. It really doesn't matter here. Now, here's the thing. I remember this news. That's not the right news. I remember this news. They're doing a deal with this company called JP Energy. And it looks like they're changing management. They're changing operations. All of it is changing. So it is not the same anymore. Everything is going to be different, except maybe the share count. They tell us here this new company has got a deal where they are distributing sugar. Where is those numbers here? Right there. JP Energy Partners entered into a contract for the supply of up to 600 metric tons of sugar to be delivered to China, comprising of 2 shipments. Now, doggone it, I would swear that somewhere I read, I'm thinking 50 million. I'm thinking 50 million in my head, but that may have been another piece of news. Sugar contract. Do I see 50 million down here? The point is that they're not making any money right now, folks. And they have now got a new business that has come in, new management, new operations, delivering sugar. There was 250,000 metric tons for the first shipment, 350,000 for the second metric. And I would swear to God, I was reading the money amounts. I just don't see it anywhere here. Ha ha, there we go. I knew I saw money somewhere. It doesn't mean much without the money figures. The contract has a maximum payout of approximately $268 million. Folks, they're not making any money. They just got taken over. It's a done deal. The management's come in. The directors have come in. It's all set up. They've got this going to China. They're going to go from no money to $268 million. That's a reason to get excited. Now, when it's going to happen, I don't know. But the stock is running now. So now would be a good time to take a look at it. I don't think there's any other information we really need to take a look at except that chart. Let's look at
Okay.
MHMD.
Here it is. So this is the daily, and I
Oh,
notice, yeah. So it has been in
finally,
this.
we get a Jack and the Beanstalk
It's
chart.
finally well, it's starting to run now. It broke out of this. This is this bottom line here in the rectangle is 0001, and then the top is
Right,
0003. So now we're
right.
at 0007. What I found interesting, I tried to look up some information while you were talking, but there was a couple of dividends. It says something, but then it says zero for payout. So I clicked on this, and apparently once upon a time they had a 3% dividend yield, but I don't.
Really?
Yeah, but I can't really find any information about that, but it's showing up
Yeah,
as
I
the
read one the
payout.
other day. It was a triple
So,
zero two dividend. So for every 100,000 shares you had, they'd give you 2 cents. And it's like,
okay, so maybe
really?
it's
Is
something
that
it
going to
must be
excite anybody?
yeah, it must have been something like that because it does say it'll say like I mean this rounds up to the nearest cent. So it
Right,
says 0,
right.
but it was something. So they're paying a dividend apparently, and I that's interesting. I was not aware of that. So anyway, we did break out of that consolidation area. So now we're at 0007. So it looks like we've got maybe some life in it. Let's
Oh,
see.
this is looking nice.
Mhm.
I
It's
mean,
set up
when
really
you see a
nice.
rocket stock, you got to expect it to come down. But we're
Yeah.
still at the development stage. We've
Mhm.
got numbers, but things haven't happened yet. So God only knows where the ceiling is on a surge like this.
Right. So this is like what the breakout looked like on the 15-minute. Whoops, sorry. So this is what it looked like on the 15-minute. So this was from last week. This was probably like on Friday. So last Friday, the 22nd. So this is what it looks like on this. Okay, it did come back down, but I mean on the 15-minute, we're right at those, 9 and 21 EMAs. It did looks like it went all the way up to 0008 at one point, and right now we're at 0007. I mean, we're in the middle of this breakout, so I mean, who knows?
I was
It did it did break out of this, so I like that.
checking to see what day I actually looked at this. The 24th is when we looked at it. Has she taken gains since the 24th?
Yeah, yeah, the 25th was a Monday, so that's when it broke out.
Right.
Or
So I put this out on
Friday.
Sunday. Okay.
So
All right.
it started breaking out on Friday a little bit, and then it broke out even more on Monday. Yeah, so you were right on it. So this was the beginning of the breakout. It looks
Yeah.
like it
So I
was.
had a giveaway. I was a little late. I was a
Uh-huh.
little late with this one. That's right.
Yeah, but I mean, it started breaking out in the middle of the day on Friday.
But the truth
So,
is, it was confirmed. By the
mhm,
time I showed it to everybody, this was a
on
confirmed
Sunday.
breakout. We were looking for a continuation, and we damn sure got it.
Got it. Yeah, yeah. It came back down a little bit, and like you would expect after a big breakout like that, because
It looks like a draw,
that's more than 100% move, even from the top of this. The 0003
right?
to 0007 is more than 100% move, even from the very top.
250
Yeah,
to 225%.
there you go. Yeah, so more than 100, way more than 100.
And I
But
think
anyway, so
I think there's still a lot of excitement around this to go from no revenues to 250, even 100 million. God, 50 million. So I think just that in itself could keep this stock running. But at some point, she's gonna crash. She's gonna
yeah,
crash. So as she's climbing, folks, sell some, scale out, sell a little bit. Don't worry about what you're losing. Think about what you're saving. There's no way you can lose what you sell. Bring it home. And when you get some free shares, let the free shares ride. You can let that go all day, all year, and not know and not worry about losing any money.
okay. Well, that's that.
All right. I think we hit our time limit here beautifully. 5:04. I see we had lots of people come in here. Kashira, Jason, Chris Vaughn. Sorry, Chris. I just saw your ticker, buddy. We ran out of time. WRLGF. Michael Anthony, you were real late, but we appreciate you being here, pal. Lots of comments there. Yeah, I was going to talk about Siri, Michael. Siri, folks, you need to look at Siri. Siri is a big merger that I covered a day late. I wanted to cover it one day, but it got bumped because the chart just didn't look as good as the other charts. Siri's got a merger going on with Liberty Media. And from what I was reading, this is a very big deal. Cirrus is on the OTC. I think she's a pink or a QB. She's doing $9 billion a year in business, and she's got great asset structure. The deal is so big, it looks like there's going to be hurdles to get over. You know how they like to block these big mergers? No, we're not going to let these two companies merge. Like, who was it? Blizzard and Microsoft or something like that. Well, that's what they're looking at here. Well, that could bring in a lot of investor excitement. So I would be watching Siri, SIRI, that Sirius XM, the streaming music radio that was here way before Echo, Alexis.
Alexa.
Yeah, well, I don't call her Alexa anymore because TV channels, commercials were using her name, and they would say, Alexa, order my wife some roses, and my Alexa would order roses, and I'd have to cancel the rose order. So I said, no, I'm not doing this. I could walk out of the room. Yes, she ordered steaks for me one day.
That is so funny.
And you can go back on Alexa and you can listen on your phone app. You can hear who said it. So whenever she's been told to do something, you can actually hear what she heard and responded to. And that's how I learned it was the TV. It's like, who ordered these steaks? I got mad. I didn't order them. It was the TV that ordered steaks. So I call her Echo now. I do not call her
got
Alexa.
it. Got it.
Well, folks, now that you've known a little bit about my private life here with my girlfriend, Echo. Oh, she heard me. Sorry. All right. We'll be here next week, folks, with some more hot stocks for you if you give us hot stocks. I bring you hot stocks all week, folks. I love looking at stocks you want me to look at. I know a lot of these are stocks you want to see light at the end of the tunnel. But honestly, folks, you have probably done so much more research on these stocks than I have. If you don't see anything bright and shiny, I'm not going to find it either. And I'm not going to blow smoke up your dress. Facts are what the facts are. But you bring us a stock that looks interesting that you may want to get into by sharing it with all of us. Get some excitement built up. We may all get into it and we can all profit. That's the idea. Taylor, if you're not here next week, whatever it is you're doing, be safe or have fun. I don't know. Whichever.
Then I'll see you the week after. Yeah.
And we'll see all of you next week too, folks. Same thing for you. Whatever you're doing, be safe or have fun, whichever the case may be. Bye-bye, folks.
Bye.